Hello and welcome to this next session on basic electrical repairing. Now, so far we've tried understanding a lot about the tools used in electrical repairing, about some of the basic connections such as series connection, parallel connection, and how we can measure voltage and ampere and so on. Now, let's move on to the next most important aspect that you must understand in electrical work. This is the house wiring, or typically the wiring that we do in residences. Most electricians primarily work on repairing or setting up electrical connections for new buildings or repairing electrical connections in existing houses. Now, if you aspire to do any of that, you need to understand how a typical residential house wiring is done. So, in this video, we will try and understand a little more about residential house wiring and what are some of the key components that are related to that. So, in the house wiring element, we will try and first of all understand that typical voltages that we receive in houses usually around 220 to 250 volts. A single phase connection normally has between 220 to 250 volts. And most equipments, electronic items or electrical items that we have at home work on 230 volts AC power supply. So, you need to ensure that as an electrician, you must ensure that this 230 volts power supply is available across the entire house for connecting various appliances and electrical items including tube light, fan, etc. Now, typically most houses will get their power from the main line or the pole as we call it. So, the electrical pole is from where you get your normal power. There is a phase and neutral which comes in straight from the pole. The phase is shown in P, N is the neutral. So, from the phase the connections are then directed to the energy meter. So, this is an energy meter and you will normally find it in your houses. There will be 4 points in the meter. The first 2 points are for the phase and neutral. This is the incoming phase and neutral from the pole or the electrical transformer. So, the phase is then connected to a resistance which measures the amount of energy that is consumed and then directed towards the out point. So, from the phase, you will see that the resistance is shown on top, and this resistance measures the energy consumption, and then the output is what is directed to the house consumption inside. So, points 3 and 4 are the output points of energy, which are then connected to a main control point. Now, this is the main switch. Main switch is what we normally use to switch on the power in the house, and there is a cutoff here. The cutoff is essentially to ensure that the phase and neutral connections are cut off when you switch off the mains. Now, whenever there is any electrical work that needs to be done in the house, it is always recommended to switch off the mains to ensure that there is no electric shock. This also has an earthing point here, which is displayed by this small image here. There is an earthing point that will be connected to the earth, and we will learn about earthing in one of the future videos. Now, this main switch also comes in different forms. Normally, these days there is an MCB which is placed there, which acts as a circuit breaker. Many times there are also fuses placed here, where there is a fuse wire which is placed there. And when the fuse wire is placed there, and if there is excessive voltage that passes through it, the fuse wire breaks, thereby protecting the entire house wiring circuitry. So, all of these elements are placed in the main switch element. So, the MCB is also a similar one which normally trips when there is excess voltage supply detected in the entire circuit. So, you will either have an MCB or a fuse here, and typically these phase and MCBs are either on the phase level or the neutral level. So, they connect either the phase to phase and neutral to neutral. Now, from there, the output points of phase and neutral is then connected to the entire circuitry in the house. There is an ammeter and voltmeter placed here. An ammeter, as we studied earlier, is in series connection on either the phase or neutral. And then there is the voltmeter which connects the phase and neutral. And apart from that, all these other equipments are all placed in a parallel connection to ensure that all these equipments receive the same voltage throughout. So the voltage is again, the supply to these equipments are controlled by switches S1, S2 and S3. And typically switches are always placed on the phase to ensure that the phase supply is disconnected. And this is typically how a house wiring is done. So broadly, as you can understand, very simple terms, there is power that comes from the main or the pole, electric pole, which is supplied into the energy meter. There's a resistance in the energy meter which measures the energy consumption and then passes it on to the main switch, which is typically also a circuit breaker. It might have an MCB or a fuse, which is then further connected to the entire circuitry in the house. The phase and neutral are connected to each of the circuit boards in each of the rooms, as well as connected to the electrical equipment such as tube light, fan and all the other equipments. Now, typically most household meters may not have an ammeter or a voltmeter there. But it's always good to have an ammeter and voltmeter, because the ammeter will tell you the amount of energy consumption and voltmeter will tell you the voltage that is received. This is especially useful, in summer months when the energy usage is very high across residences. The voltage typically drops, and the voltmeter will help you check how much voltage you are receiving to ensure that you accordingly switch on electrical appliances at home. And typically, each of these switches, we repeat again, these switches need to be breaking the phase, not on the neutral, to ensure that the phase is disconnected whenever it is not required. Placing them on the neutral may not be the right thing to do, because then if the phase continues to provide supply, there will still be chances of electrical shock, and therefore the switches might not really do a great job there. So it's important to place the switches only on the phase on a series connection, whereas all the electrical equipments will be on a parallel connection. So whenever there is a problem in the electrical supply, you normally check the mains, if the MCBs are proper, if the fuse is intact. If the fuse and the main MCBs are proper, then you go to the energy meter to check if you are able to get supply using each of these points. Now you check these using a tester, because a tester will be able to tell you if there is power supply there. So when you place it on the phase, you will be able to detect whether there is power supply coming in there. And if there is no power supply coming at the meter level, which probably indicates that there is a problem in the supply of power from the electrical pole to the energy meter. Whereas if you have supply in the energy meter coming in, the problem could be at the main switch or the MCB that you have connected underneath. So you check the cutouts there, the fuses there, in order to ensure that all of them are intact. And if they are not, you can replace the fuse wire and ensure that you can restart the entire circuits. So this is broadly how residential house wiring works. And this gets a little more complex when you have more number of rooms, more number of equipments to be connected. However, the fundamental principles are just the same. So switches need to be in the series connection. All other electrical items need to be in the parallel connection. Fuses are also in series connection, either on the neutral line or on the phase line. And these are some of the essential aspects that you must remember while you're building a house wiring system. Thank you very much.